Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this special Mother's Day edition of Wellness Wednesday. So, they say it takes a village to raise a child, but these days it often feels like it takes Google search, 5 parenting reels, and a whole lot of self doubt. Today, we're here to cut through the noise. We're not just celebrating moms, but understanding the evolving emotional world of motherhood, especially in a world full of advice, judgment, and so many things out there. Now, we all have heard that phrase, there's no manual way for parenting. But what if we had someone who could help us decode our parenting patterns, emotions, and choices? That's exactly why this session is different. Alongside two incredible moms who represent different generations of parenting, we have with us Riddhi Doshi, a child psychologist and a parenting behavior expert, who will be guiding us through the emotional and mental realities of motherhood today. So I'll just take a quick introduction. I'll give a quick introduction of panelists out there. So Dr. Rashmi holds a BDS degree and is currently a senior manager, accident and health claims at Onsurety, with over 16 years of experience in health insurance and 7 years in teaching. She's also a millennial mom balancing career, caregiving, and realities of modern parenting. Ravinder, Ravinder holds a MBA degree in marketing and HR and is currently a senior manager at Wellness Team on Charity with over 15 years of experience, including running her own event management company, Login Karo Media Solution. She brings a sharp blend of entrepreneurial and people first thinking. She offers reflections on parenting through the lens of Zen Alpha, tech, and generational shifts with wisdom and wit. And the voice of insight today, Riddhi Doshi, is a renowned child psychologist and parenting counselor, as well as certified dance movement therapist. She's a founder of Lajja, a forum for women empowerment, and with deep expertise in child behavior, parent-child dynamics, and expressive therapies, Riddhi brings a unique blend of science, empathy, and movement to everything she does. So, over to the first segment of our panel where we talk about the emotional birth of a mother. And here we are going to talk about motherhood, not biologically, but emotionally. So I have a question for you, Rashmi, to begin with you. So you became a mother at a time when outside world looked very different. What kind of that emotional transition felt like, especially with limited resources and more traditional expectations out there? You can unmute.
We cannot say it in a word or two because it is very complex and it was very challenging for us in those days. Because emotional stress, we had to bear everything. Like it was sudden, like we had a lot of responsibilities all of a sudden. Then bearing that, accepting like we have one more responsibility. There is someone who is depending on us, and we need to give them 100% from our end. So all these transition from being a single person to having a being there later going on to being a double with a child with a womb in your child with a womb with the child in your room, sorry. It is all the stress what we undergo, like we don't know how we are going to face it. We have a lot of stress, like we have what to say, like new, it is a kind of new responsibilities what you're having. In the, it's just like new responsibilities. We have a lot of stress, like postpartum depressions. Also, we go postpartum changes. We have a lot of postpartum changes due to hormonal balance. Then we have sleep deprivation also. So bearing all this, and without in those days, like we had, of course, we had the family support. It was not like now, like where we immediately something happens to us, we check, go into the Google and check it. We had our elders who were guiding us, and we used to take care. We used to ask. Of course, it was only the elders, and we were not so open up with our friend circle also. I think now the thing is very much advanced, and the mothers are having a better. I don't say we were deprived of it. We had our ancestral opinions and this one, but now I think they are more advanced than us. That is what I mean to say.
Yeah, that's true. Now over to Ravinder. Can you take us back to a moment that emotionally marked your transition into a motherhood? Like not just at a baby moment, but when you truly felt like, like a mother. What shift was like within you at that point of time? Your mic is on mute.
Sorry. So I would say that I am not going to mention, when my child was born, that's when I got emotional and, I felt the motherhood. Rather, I would say the day when I was, checking into my wardrobes or peeping into the kitchen wherein the chocolates are there, I can eat. And there's a noise behind echoing, Mama, are you going to eat my chocolates? That's when I found that, yeah, I'm a mother. I do not have an independent thought process or life. There is a person behind my life every time who's going to echo in every moment which I take at the house. So that is a transition when actually being a mom of a Zen Alpha. Right now, I'm connected from home, and my child is listening all this. So he is also showing anger to me, but this is a fact. When you become a mom, it's yes, it is an emotional phase. When you have to leave your child and go to office, or when he's not well, you have to go to office, or you have some commitments around there. Even before being joining on shortly, I was running my own business. At that time also, you have that emotional baggage there, that you have a responsibility at home, though it is a shared responsibility between the parents, but the mothers are the one, those who by default take that 100% responsibility on them, that ye meri responsibility, this is mine. So this is a phase which defines for me my motherhood and emotional phase.
Riddhi, what do you think in your experience? How does this emotional journey into motherhood usually begins for most women? Why do feelings like, self-doubt overwhelm so often? Because it's a part of experience. Like, what do you think?
So initially, we feel that we become a mother. Motherhood begins while at the birth of a child. Okay, but emotionally, it is not that. Emotionally, it begins with an identity shift. So the fellow panelist just mentioned that when the chocolate, when the child is watching out, and that's where she realized, okay, that's where I'm a mother now. That's exactly emotionally when our identity shifts is where we start feeling that, okay, now I have to take care of a child. I'm emotionally burdened. It starts with a sense of anticipation, a little mixed of, been anxiety also mixed with this anticipation of a responsibility. Many women experience what we call as matrices, which is a psychological and emotional transition which happens in every woman, especially the one embracing the motherhood. Okay, there's a joy, but that's certainly a loss of identity. There's a loss of image, there's a loss of the work, the associations, the circles that the lady is connected with. There's a feeling of loss of everything except a new joy, a joy of having given a birth to a child, a new life altogether. Okay, sometimes the lady also feels, loss of freedom. So that's a big thing for a mother. Self doubt starts because when the expectations, the internal expectations of being a proper mother, while expectations of being a proper mother of the society that we're surrounded with, and that doesn't match the societal identity that or the expectations that a mother faces, and what she has it within herself. So when these expectations don't match, the reality is absolutely third, which is a different reality altogether. Sometimes the lady really feels that, okay, when my child sleeps all the time, I can relax, I can let my body heal, I can eat properly, I can play with my child, I can talk with my child. But that doesn't happen, because in reality, the child who's just born also is exploring a lot of things. And all the situation, the whole of the situation, I mean, can be quite overwhelming for the mother, the new mother, with a constant pressure of performing, of being a proper mother, feeding the child properly, whether her body is able to produce feed. Again, the societal norms that, okay, when you become a mother, you need to be having a proper feed, so that your child is taken care of. So there is a lot of overwhelming situations and emotions for the parent, the new parent, that's the mother. But overall, she's lot into a space of nurturing, being calm, being available for the new birth, the new child that has just entered her life. And unfortunately, all these things, that the clarity that the lady feels within, what the society feels for her, the expectations I'm talking about, nobody prepares the lady that, okay, this is all you will face. Everybody says, oh, it's a beautiful journey, oh, you're giving a birth to a child, oh, it's a new life that you're working upon, and oh, you're such a lucky lady that you're giving a birth to a child. But nobody prepares the lady that how to handle the inner chaos, how to handle the overwhelming situations. I guess that's exactly where self-doubt pops in.
Okay, now we'll move to the other phase of it, which is parenting in the age of reels, screens. So, Rashmi, over to you. When you were parenting your child, the digital landscape did not exist, like no parenting videos, no comparison culture. Do you think that made parenting simpler or like harder? What kind of connection did you rely on instead? Your mic is on mute.
Sorry, I don't say it is simpler or harder, but it was like one-to-one contact. The child was not dependent on any videos or screens or any digital electronic devices. Like we were one-to-one with the child. We used to spend most of the time with the children. We used to play cricket we used to play hopscotch. We used to in fact, engage the child with all these, because they had no other options like sitting with their mobiles or laptops or tabs. So we were like, it's what one-to-one, what we used to engage. We used to spend more time with the child. Nowadays, what is happening is anything, even in fact, we at my age, when we had to do posters or something for the child, we used to start looking out for magazines, look at the pictures, take the material there. But now it's not like that. They just log into the Google, they take the printout, go fix it up there. But older ages, we had to do all the R&Ds. We had to go to the library or somewhere, search for the magazines, pick out, and even we used to involve engage the child also in this. So we used to give them the ideas, like in what way we had to do. So I don't say it was simpler, neither I tell it was harder. I can just say it was one-to-one contact, and we had much time to spend with our child rather than now what we are doing. Even I feel that now the children are missing that. Earlier, they used to go to play with the kids outside. They used to play with sand, stones, everything was there. But now the children are always inside. I think the immunity also is coming down for the recent kids. Because earlier, even of course, my kids know they have fallen down from the cycle. Everything has happened, but everything went on. We didn't face that difficulty also. So I don't say it was harder, but I say it was very good, because we were very close, and the child also was very close to us. We had intimacy within us. That is what I mean to say.
Over to you, Ravinder. You are raising a Gen Alpha who has grown up around screens, content, social media. How has that shaped the way you parent? Like, do you ever feel the pressure to keep up with your child's digital world kind of stuff?
Yes, definitely, Gayatri. Just going back to the words what Dr. Rashmi spoke, that she used to let her child, they are falling from the cycle, getting hurt and all. But today's, I would say all the moms and parents are also to be blamed, okay? Today's Gen Alpha mom, They buy all the protection for the kids. You know, we have the guards, we have the knee guards, we have the elbow guards, all this. But having said that, why did I buy? Is that if he falls and if he gets hurt, he will miss his school. If he misses school, he'll be at home. If he'll be at home, he'll look into the screen. So it's better to buy a guard. So that's where the entire thought process came into the picture, being a mom of a Zen Alpha. And having said that, yes, of course, I feel digital platform is a booming also for our kids. In today's date, we as a parent, alpha parents or whosoever is working right now, we also scroll. We scroll Insta, we scroll our, all the reels, or you are at LinkedIn, or you are at Teams meeting, or you have official mails and all the communication on your mobile when you're traveling. So you can see the child peeping also. So I'm sorry, I can't hold that. So we have all this digital screening time. We ourselves, we can't control. So the child is learning from us. What I feel, when sometimes when we realize, okay, fine, we are also on the screen time, that's the way the child is also learning. I don't remember that when did I open the novel and sat running and, I went through the entire novel so that my child can also read that. So we have everything digital. So not to be blamed to this generation kids, they are learning many knowledgeable things which we can't give a transfer to them, the knowledge transfer of what's happening around. For me, like for my kid, it's like more about machines, vehicles and all that. He knows all the machines, vehicles, how does it function, the functionality, which engine is required. I have not given this information to him. This is all because of the digital platform. So I do not, I would say it is not, we can put a guidance or a screen time, but that should not be the goal. The goal is, what is your child consuming? What language is it consuming? How much, what are the content, what they are going through? That is a worry for me. I do not go for a, blockage in the screen time and everything, because if you do that, they will figure it out a way, that how to go and where to learn. So in today's platform, even in the schools, no matter whichever school you go, they have a big TV in the classroom. Forget about it is running or not running. The screen itself is there in the classroom. So what you'll talk about screen timing and all this. So I think it's better being parents. I think whosoever have joined right now, they would be thinking, yeah, my child is also going through the mobiles, laptops and everything. We can put a restriction to some extent that 1 hour, 2 hour you can watch, but it is more advisable to look into the content, what they are watching, what learning they are doing it, instead of getting, getting addicted towards it. It happened few weeks back. I happened to just got into some video wherein a child was doing some actions, He used to play one particular game continuously throughout. Now, when he is not in front of the screen, still the child was doing those movements. And that was a worry for the parents at that time when it was extreme. So I would say it should be a worry when your child is actually looking into the screen. So for me also, I am there in office. Most of us are in office. Both parents are in office. You can put a blockage or a lock in the screen for a certain time period. Okay, but visibility on the content is more important. But to be very frank, I would say all this Zen Alpha kids are learning some decode, some languages, which I think all of our parents have to do a crash course. Today we have this all AI crash course and all that. But for parents like me, I need a crash course to decode their language, which is very difficult for me to understand. So I have to actually tell him, what exactly do you want? Can you please make it simpler for me to understand? Because their language we can't understand. These all are tech savvy and all that, bro. And I don't know what all languages are there. For us to decode it, it's very difficult. So for me, I would say yes, digital is a big time worry. But having said that, my child also needs to evolve, and I also need to be, evolve along with the digital screening and platform and everything. So yes, having said that, there should be a knowledge for us also, that how, when, and how to control it. So now that we've got to whatever Dr. Rashmi said, now I have, sorry.
Yeah, continue.
So I said, adding to whatever Dr. Rashmi said, I have to take my child to a playground. I have to identify a playground where sand is there, where mud is there, where grasses are there, so that my child can play there instead of being in concrete. So that develops their immune also. So I think it's both the responsibility of a parents to take it instead of blaming a child that always they are on screen. We have to channelize and prioritize and plan our day accordingly. So it is always a to-do list in every mom's list, I think, when the summer vacation comes or when the schools are there, when they come back from school at home, there is always a to-do list. 1 hour this, half an hour this. So I think this is the way we have to all grow. Yeah. So that's all from my side.
And now that we have got the views from both the end, over to you, Dr. Riddhi. What kind of behavioral patterns are you seeing in children who are raised in like high digital exposure rooms? Like, what do you think their relationship would be with physical books compared to screens in today's age?
So, first of all, let me compliment Ravinder. She has a wonderful sense of humor. And so beautifully she's been putting her point across. I just loved it. Well, the behavioral changes, what we often see in these days, especially rise in all this stuff post-pandemic, because post-pandemic or during pandemic when it struck, everything was online. And achanak say there was a digital space where children started being there for a longer time. Okay, so we are seeing that in my practice, in fact, rather than saying I have been noticing a lot and I've been dealing with it, a lot of high levels of anxiety, decreased attention span, because everything that comes on the screen for them is absolutely quicker. Okay, it's 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds are the reels and the shots. So for them, attention span is absolutely decreased these days, and a strong dependence on external validation. Now, where does this come from? Because children are so used to watching everything that is the best on social media, because nobody talks about what is worst in their life. Everybody shows the best. And while they're showing the best, if the child or the teen or the young adult is not having that, the child starts assuming that he or she is not capable, or it can be only when I have this, I am perfect. Okay, so the word perfect also has kind of evolved in during this age of screens, overuse of screens. There is extreme decrease seen in the communication of the child. So the child, right now when I'm talking, you are smiling, Ravinder and Doctor, I see them just nodding or complimenting with their gestures. But children, they do not know that the communication is two-way communication, because that's something which they've never learned. Or when they've learned also, the unlearn was too harsh, too strong and too deep for them. So while they are on the screen, they understand that communication is just one side, because the screen is constantly bombarding the content which the child, the young adult or the adolescent is just grasping without even processing it. And when the child is unable to process it, there is struggle. When there is not there, that quick dopamine of that happiness, you see one-sided happiness that has been thrown to you, one-sided anger, one-sided aggression, one-sided extreme level of energy that is thrown to you, they start struggling with boredom often. The emotions are absolutely overwhelming for them. And even sometimes the social skills are just not there. So the social cues which they have to pick up, like doctor said that for her, or while she was raising her children, it was important for her to take her children to the ground. Now, while they are on the ground, while they're playing, there are times that we, as mothers, and tell our children something by giving some cues, maybe through our eyes, or maybe a word, or maybe through our action. But these days, the children who are just hooked onto screens don't understand social cues, to the extent they don't even understand when they are hungry, when they are thirsty, or even when they are feeling tired, or their eyes are tired. So everything is so overstimulated that all the stuff are underconnected, I would say. So in this, the behavior is extreme. Emotions are not understood. Vocabulary is zero. Anxiety is on high. Panic is frequent. And connect with self is zero. So these are the changes which I often see in my practice these days. Extremely, seen in children after 2020, I would say.
And what are your views on people, like children, comparing it like when it comes to screens versus physical books? Okay, you
Sorry,
made sure that
I missed that. So while everything is on the screen, parents also feel that instead of just going for a book or a reading club or something, a screen is an easier version for them to manage. Okay, so I might take a Kindle version and give it to my child. Okay, padho tum. I have to just subscribe. Vice versa, something which is a book in hand. Okay. Uh, since parents are not avid readers, they have opted for something which is screen. While all the parents who have been avid readers would understand the importance of a feel, importance of smell, and importance of holding a book. Okay. And that's where those children had a flavor or have a flavor of reading time, reading corners, discussions, perspective, understanding. So those are the concepts where it depends upon parents. When they have it, they are able to escalate it in a positive manner to their children. But the ones who have never experienced are the ones who are, you just because they've heard that reading is important, that reading books increases the vocabulary of a child and increases the imagination and creativity, is where they want their children to read, but they miss out that it's also again a screen. So it's very important to have a feel, which the parents are taking the children away from the feel, the experience, the smell. The five senses are not aggravated unless you hold a book,
Okay, so now let's shift to mom identities, guilt, and self-worth. Uh, there's something which I feel like every mom goes through is they silently grapple with their identity. So, like Dr. Rashmi, over to you. Did you ever feel like you lost a part of yourself while raising a child?
I think all of us face this because we are in a phase where we have to balance the family as well as our career. So in some way, where even in my condition also, I had got very good opportunities, but I had to forego it because of the family and my kids. I had to come back, and my many things we have to sacrifice for the sake of our kids also. Maybe husband to a certain extent he can, but for one up to one stage, I think the kids need us they need us. We cannot leave them alone. Like with husbands cannot maintain them in that way, like how a mother takes place. In that way, we feel our identity like we are not given we are not our talent will not be completely exposed. In one way, we will be we will be editing few things. Okay, this will forgo for the child's sake. So this happens, I think, and in one, but to certain extent, I am proud because my kids also have supported in this way and have come to one level, not in that way like completely taken away my career or something. To one extent, I have grown up because of my kids' support also. That I have to take it up in this thought.
This is like, yeah, we all relate to kind of thing. Uh, over to Ravinder. How do you balance being you and being mom?
So yes, I would say that what very rightly said Dr. Rashmi, every woman goes through this phase after a childbirth, to take a decision whether to opt for your career or whether to look at the child. And we as a mother, we have this preset notion that only we can take care of the child. We own it. And that's wrong. It is not like that. That is your feeling, what I feel, because I've gone through this. I took a break in my career for 3 to 4 years just to raise my child, because I didn't had such support wherein I could leave my child and go. But having said that, if the opportunity was given to a man, I'm sure that a man would also do it, because in today's generation, I think men have also evolved. Other than talking about motherhood, they have also learned many things now, like, how to raise a child. It's just that you have to throw the responsibility there. So yes, I also took a career break, but I've learned from that, my career break, that yes, being a mom doesn't mean that, you have to leave your career and just look into your child and raise him. Though I feel that, I'm 5 years, 4 years back of my career, but when I look at my child, the way he talks and the way he's competing in this today's generation, I feel that yes, I got promoted there. So that is a proud moment for me, that I have raised a child who has all the values and everything for 5-6 years. I've raised him throughout, teaching him day and out in the career, like, what all to do and what are right and what are wrong. These all teaching has been done by me. But yes, I would say there is a guilt. Of course, there is a guilt with every mom. I think that every mom would be having the guilt today also. When your child is like, still 10 years. My child is 10 years old. Still, I have the guilt. But why? Just because I'm mother, I have this guilt? No, but I think we have to also change. Now I started developing this feeling, that, it's good for me to stay away from my child as well, because that will make him be more independent with my guidance. My, in the sense, all or whosoever are there in the family, that you need to do this, you need to do that. Just an incident, just to quote, 2 days back, my child just called me at 6 o'clock and he's like, Mom, I'm feeling very lonely at home because my mates were not there. That's when I came back home and I told him that you have to learn, like, what is next to do. Make your own calendar. Do it. This is what we have to give them, the ownership of the work to be done. I think we tell them, ye karo, nahi. You give them, like, what you want to do. You decide, make a list and give it to us. We'll say this is right, this is wrong. That's what I can say in this guilt career, that, this guilt was there and I have overcome with the guilt, what to do so that I don't have that guilt again.
Over to you, Riddhi. Like, what does psychology says about, identity loss in early motherhood? And why do this guilt, burnout, or even quiet resentment sometimes, sneak in, even when moms, deeply love their child? So why does it happen? It's like,
see, when you're talking about psychology, there are few concepts, even before we talk about the woman, the mother, the identity. A woman always wants to be a perfect mother, okay? And the word perfect is extremely manipulated, I would say. There's nothing like the word perfect. And in the lieu of being perfect, there's a lot of burnout that happens. Okay, a lot of burnout, emotionally burnout, physically burnout. Now, while we are talking about this perfect mom, where does that come from? Now, even before we talk about the identity, we talk about the woman and the role of mother, it is important that we understand that where is the burnout coming from? And the burnout is coming from the space of being perfect. And where this being perfect comes from? Obviously, the social media. Because every woman who is just for the heck of passing time is on social media, basically seeing a reel which is just edited, right? So there are a lot of filters, there are a lot of things edited, there is cuts, tuck, and you see the perfect version of one video that is put up, and that too for 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, you cannot make out how the person is or what the person means to tell you. You see only the version which the person wants you to see through his or her social media. So here, that is kind of giving a space of being perfect. That's where the mother is wanting to be perfect, and that's exactly where the burnout is happening. There is societal pressure also that also plays a role in pushing a mom to be a perfect mother. Now, psychologically, if you talk about the identity loss, yeah, while a woman embraces motherhood, being a woman and being a mother, this identity always collides. Like it's difficult, okay, especially in early years, I would say, because a woman has always internalized a belief that as a woman I'm perfect, within I'm satisfied, I'm happy, um, I want to live my life in a particular way, I want to shape up my life in a particular manner, I want to shape my relationship in a particular manner, okay. And while the child is there, the whole world narrows down or boils down to the identity or the well-being of the child, okay. So a woman and being a mother is always colliding, and that's where um, there is a loss of something which we call as self for a woman, right? There's nothing like a self, because she's always struggling between the being a pendulum between a woman and a mother, okay. So her hobbies are compromised, her conversations are absolutely revolving around children. Self-care seems to be Greek and Latin for a few years while the child is born, and lot of guilt, lot of guilt that pops in. So that's where certainly the identity of the lady is compromising for her, right? Probably when self-love is, that's exactly the time when self-love is induced in a lady, is where um, she might start feeling being a woman once again, along with a newborn in her hand. And just one tip for all these people, sorry, the mothers, the new mothers, just one tip for everybody is, morning or evening, whenever you feel that you are compromising on your identity, or there is you're constantly doubting yourself, or you're feeling a guilt that I'm not giving enough, if I am pursuing something, I'm not giving enough time, love, care, affection to my child, just do one thing is taking a deep breath, just spreading your arms and just giving a tight hug to yourself. Trust me, twice a day, while you take all the medicines, twice a day, hug medicine, self-hug medicine is must, because that's going to connect you to your own self. And that's where the guilt, the worth, the identity will not be there. You will feel very accomplished. You will feel very good within, and your mind and body is connected. And that's how, when you feel accomplished, you'll be able to give the best to the newborn as well. So there's no chance of identity, worth, guilt, because you are connected with yourself. You'll be able to give the best to your own child as well. This is what I believe.
Okay, to both the moms out there, I have like a really like real and kind of simple question. What do you wish someone would have told you about motherhood before you began? Like both of you can answer, Justin.
I just wish someone. Oh, Dr. Rashmi, if you want to go ahead.
No, Ravinder, you carry on.
I'm saying I just wish if someone would have told me that, other than the to-do list, other than the negotiation of the snacks, other than the negotiation of the TV timing, other than the negotiation of all those negotiations, you have your own life. If you make yourself happy, you will raise a good child, you'll have a happy family at home. This, if someone would have told me, even if I talk to my mom today also, she will not prioritize my work being a mom. She'll prioritize my child's work. She'll prioritize my other works if I take a guidance from her. So I think it's ulta. It's just a vice versa. You have to prioritize yourself first, because you are going to be the spine and the backbone of the house, taking the decisions, running around, managing your official calendars and managing your own home, menu at home, what to be cooked and what not to be cooked and all that. So other than that, there is your own life. Don't give it up on yourself. If this would have been told by someone, I think I would have been better mom or a better person. That don't try to be perfect. You cannot be perfect. But yes, don't give it up. Do it again, do it again, do it again. I give this guidance now to everyone. I would say this is the one which I'm going to give to every new mom. I have a lot of my female colleagues in my team, those who are expecting my, I always tell them, don't give up. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try at all because you cannot be perfect. You'll never be perfect. Let me dissolve that, bubble, burst that bubble right now. You'll never be perfect.
Over to you, Rashmi. Like, wanted to add.
See, if at all people would have guided us or someone would have told us, maybe we would have handled the situation in a better way. We over concentrated on each and everything. And I think it was a stress on it was a unnecessary stress what we had taken. And what I see in the recent moms, no, they are able to balance. I think they're smart enough than us. We were over concentrating on each and everything, and I think we never got a proper. We never planned it out or what, I don't know, or it was like we were overwhelmed being a mom. We thought everything we should do, it should come from our end. Everything has to go from our end only. So I think now what in the present generation, I think the girls are balancing in a better way than us. That is what I feel. But we were. That is what I'm telling you. No, it's better we plan out things rather than stressing ourselves. That is what I mean to say.
No question. And if your child could describe you in one sentence, 10 years from now, okay, what would you hope they would say?
Uh, I think they would tell me both negative and positive, because at times I don't say they would tell me a perfect mom, because sometimes I have stressed them also. I have burdened my stress over them, the official office stress and all. Sometimes that workload pressure and all sometimes has to come and bounce on them. What is this? What is like that? I used to question them. Even for silly things, I used to pounce on them. So I think they will give both the ways about me. Not a perfect mom. So I'm proud, I'll be able to say. But I think they will say she was I was very supportive for them. And of course, whenever they needed, I was there for me. I was there for them. But at times I have shown my frustration also because maybe the overstress from the not able to balance the work life balance was not there. That stress I've shown on them. But I think they will be proud of me because I have spent the major decision making, or wherever they needed my support, my guidance, I have provided them. That thing I think they will be very proud to say about me.
What you, Ravinder?
See, I cannot say what he's going to talk about me because I seriously doubt. Uh, because I have been bothering him, and his all negotiation has got on failure. Being these just today's generation kids, they are a very good at negotiation. Okay, and all his negotiation has gone for a toss when it comes to me. So I don't know, but I wish that he will say that I have been there with him as a buddy rather than being a mom, wherein he can come, and I've given that leverage to him that he can come and discuss whatever has happened at school or wherever. Not like we were scared of our parents. Being a millennial child, I was scared of my parents. I never used to discuss whatever had happened during the day in the school, college, or with the friends. I've given that leverage to him wherein he can come up and talk whatever it may be. It can be any topic. So I think he should say this, and if he says that, I'll be like very happy. Uh, Spending time with him, or taking a career break and all, that was my decision. I don't think he will compliment me for that at all. So but yes, I wherever it has come to a negative part, yes, his all negotiation has got on fail. That would be a negative part. And the positive part, yes, I've been there with whatever decision he takes. Like today also, I gave him the chance of taking that decision. Wherever we go for our vacations and all, we give him options. You decide. You give us your tick mark or priorities and all that. So on that ground, yes, he will compliment me, and that will help him also in future if he grows in whatever career or field he would be.
So the final word from Riddhi. Riddhi, to every mom watching, or any parent watching, some overwhelmed, some unsure, what's your one message for them today on parenting or motherhood?
I was so waiting for this, Gayatri. I really want them to understand that you're enough. You are enough. The way you have showing up each day, sometimes your body is giving up, sometimes your emotions are giving up, but still you are there on the tough days, hard days. You are building up a world of emotions for your child. You're just there to support a new life. You're just enough. Start believing that you're enough. And in fact, that's an affirmation which you can speak to yourself every morning when you see yourself in the mirror and say, I'm enough. Start saying this with a smile, and trust me, it works wonders. That's something which I have told myself when I became a mother. And that really helps. Remember one thing, that you are not on this earth to fix everything. You need not be perfect, because I'm sure when your child will grow up, your child will surely tell you that my mom just didn't raise me, but she always taught me how to be kind to herself. And let that be the message for your motherhood, at least this life you have with your child. Remember that. And don't forget, hug matters.
Okay. I think it's the end of the session. We'll take some Q&A. People have put out some questions out there. Some few people asking, what is Zen Alpha? Ravinder, can you tell them?
The kids, those who are born before, after 2010, are called as Zen Alpha. Zen Beta are 2024. I'm sure I'm right, Gayatri.
25. Yeah. 25.
25 or 24?
25.
Okay. 25.
There's one more question over to you, Dr. Riddhi. How can a busy mom with 9 hours job and household responsibility will try to keep up his child away from screen?
Lovely. Dear mommy, working mom or non-working mom, either ways, it is important for us to understand that parenting cannot be replaced with a screen. Okay. If you can, the best thing that works here is the old age process, oral system of joint family, where you have your parents or your in-laws staying with you, because there you know that your child will be engaged in something. Nonetheless, if that is not possible, ensure that you engage your child in something before you leave for work, and after you come, ensure that your child is with you, doing some quality time, spending some quality time. And when you are spending quality time, ensure that the screens aren't there. Don't expose your child to screens at a very young age. In fact, given a choice and given a liberty and power, in my capacity as a child psychologist, I will just not allow a child to be having any sort of screens in his or her growing years, at least till 7 years. There are a lot of things that the child can do while the child is growing up, along with you or the house help or anybody who's a part of the family. Your child can learn to be just chopping vegetables with hands, the beans and the coriander and all, because that's how the child is going to work on the fine motor skills, right? You can involve your child in laundry. You can involve your child in just pulling the bed sheet, to toys, to gardening, to just growing up the vegetables, to anything and everything. Just keep involving the child in everything that you do, once you're back home and once before you leave for work. And during those hours, screen is not an option. Let the child play on his own. वो बच्चा अगर बोर होगा तो कुछ नया सीखेगा. If the child gets bored, the child will invent a way out to work on the boredom. So don't give everything and anything ready to the child on the platter. Let the child invent. Those are the ones who are sure to invent something bigger when they grow up. So let them be. Let them get bored. Let them sleep. Let them eat. Let them do everything and anything through which they can explore. Okay. And if you have a nanny at home, ensure that the nanny is out of screen and not involve screen while you want your child to be staying away from the screen. Screen cannot be A parent cannot be replaced by a screen. Remember that. That's not a solution. So find out everything that you can involve within the four walls of the house with the help of everybody in the house. Do everything, but not screen. And I'm sure, mommy, you can figure it out what you have in your circumstances and the best available resources you have.
I had like one question, like how does like screen affects a child, like at growth stages, like the developmental process? Because what I see in this screen world, everything has become so frictionless. There's no friction in their life. So how do they dabble between creativity and all that stuff? Because everything is given to them over their hands. Like,
and since everything is given to them over their hands is where the damage happens, Gayatri. I literally want to share an experience which one of my client had. So a parent kind of gave me a call at 6:30 in the morning, and they said that we want to really come and meet you urgent. What is the earliest you can see us? And I said, okay, within an hour you can see me at the office. Apparently what happened is the child was so hooked on, a 4-year-old child was so hooked on to screens and cartoons, especially watching cartoons, and the father, out of love, care and affection, had bought a Superman dress for the child. Okay, so the child felt, and while watching all the cartoons on the Cartoon Network, the child felt that I have all the powers. So they had a bunk bed in the room, the child wearing the dress, just having a chadar piche, and just jumped out of the bunk bed thinking that when I jump, the flap behind will fly and I will be landing it properly and safely on the floor, which didn't happen. And he had multiple fractures. Okay. So this made me think that children have started believing that real life is the real life because they are so much on the screen, right? The screen time is increasing. Also at early stage of life, they're exposed to things like validation, the best body, the perfect version, the looks, also to porn. So 4 and 5-year-old are exposed to porn. And where is that coming from? Because while they're scrolling for the YouTube and all, there would be something which shows about, okay, you can do this as a cartoon or something. And when the child, out of curiosity, says that, okay, it leads to some Instagram page or some YouTube or the Google sites where a woman is nude there or making some weird sounds, and there is a man just naked in front of the woman or trying to touch woman. What is the child learning? Right? That's what the children are exposed to at a young age. And so I would say, rightly said by Ravinder just 10 minutes back, that it is important that not what your child is watching on the screen, what is the child learning from that? That is important. And what actually do the child watch is also very, very important. So screens honi hi nahi chahiye. There are a lot of other things that you can involve your children in. And when the child is hooked on to screen, the communication, the understanding, the reflexes, the emotions, everything is compromised because everything is one way bombarded on the child, which right now when I'm talking, Ravinder is nodding, which the child doesn't understand because that's not something that the child is learning every day from the screen. My say completely on this, Gayatri. I hope it helps.
Yeah, because like social skills are also like going on a toss.
Absolutely. I had a client. In fact, I have been talking about this with the consent of the parent because this is something which everybody needs to understand. So when the pandemic struck and within a year, I had a client, the father came back from the office and the mother just told the child, a second standard child, that and us din house help वगैरह नहीं थे, तो this mother said that just give a glass of water to the father. And this is something which we have it in Indian culture, that if somebody comes home, we always offer a glass of water. All right. And the child didn't reply. So the mother just, kind of after 2 minutes, again, she called up and the child didn't listen and didn't reply. The mother just went and saw that the child was sitting with a remote control, sitting idly on the sofa and watching the TV. The mother just took the remote from the child's hand and said, Sunai nahi de raha hai. And the child got kind of, it triggered the child to the extent that they have a penthouse. The child ran up on the terrace, and standing there on the plinth, the father could understand that there is something wrong, and the mother went behind, and the child is looking at the parents and saying, "Kudu kya? Should I jump from here?" The second standard child, now where is this coming from? Okay, so two things. The child was watching lot of videos which are adult content, and secondly, whenever the parents used to fight, and that fights used to happen in front of the child, the child or the parent, one of the parent would always say that, "Isse to main mar jata to acha tha. I should have ended my life." And that's what the child learned.
So
Unfortunately.
energy of words also come into picture, like how we
Absolutely.
use it.
Absolutely. It's like I always tell my clients, the clients' parents, till at least 10 years, you are kind of feeding in the child's mind. That is a CPU. What 10 saal ke baad, it will start coming out from the CPU as and when needed. In what way, you don't know. So better feed in right things so that the right things come out after 10 years.
This is very like dark.
Yes, it is certainly.
Yeah, thank you so much, all of you and the people who joined in for the honest, heart-led discussion. If there's one thing we hope you take away today, it's that there's no perfect mom. And from the Riddhi, we can take, you just need to hug yourself, give yourself a lot of snuggles, and you're allowed to evolve, you're allowed to know, to not to know, and you're definitely allowed to take care of yourself as well. So, wishing you all of you beautiful, reflective, and a restful Mother's Day. See you at the next Wellness Wednesday.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Gayatri. Thank you, Pam. Thanks.
Thank you all. Thank you.